Hey guys, so this video is not going to be ASMR because I don't think I can like keep my voice down for this topic. And also I'm filming on a new camera, so I'm curious as to how that's going to look. My tripod situation is very jank and definitely not the most stable in the world, but we're gonna go with it because it's all I've got. So today I'm bringing you a book collection as well as like a what I've been reading, what I've been liking lately type of thing. So I have a lot of books. Also, please excuse whatever's going on over here. My shelf above my closet right here decided to fall today and all of my belongings fell on the ground and broke. So I've been dealing with that, which is not super cool. But yeah, so you might still find this video relaxing. I don't really know, but its intention is not ASMR, so just throwing that out there. In the future I want to move toward doing some like non-ASMR content too, because I feel like some stuff that I want to do, it would be easier if I didn't do ASMR for it, if that makes sense. Also, I'm trying really hard not to look at the viewfinder. I'm trying to look at the camera, but I probably will look at the viewfinder sometimes. And also I dyed my hair. As you can see, I am brunette. So, yippee. Okay, we're gonna get started. And to be clear, like this is just like my fiction books. Well, it's mostly fiction. There's a couple like history book type stuff in there too. Yeah, fuck it, I'll just do all of it. It's too much of a pain to separate it. Okay, let's get started with what's on my shelf. I know I showed this in my last video. And this is gonna be very rapid fire. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. So we've got Cormac McCarthy, No Country for Old Men. I'm a big fan of this cover. I like the middle of nowhere of it all. As I said in my last video, I've read The Road and that was amazing. We've got Victor Davis Hanson, The End of Everything, which is a book about like the greatest wars and like essentially just like erasure of certain, it's like a book about like genocides. Well, is that the right word for it? I don't know if that's necessarily the right word for it. I might be... It's about, like, extinctions. So it's about, like... What is this one? Like, the obliteration of classical Thebes. There's one about Carthage, too. There is one about, like... the conquistadors coming to like the Aztec nation and wiping them out with disease. It's like, I'm just gonna read you the things because I'm butchering this. War can settle disputes, topple tyrants, and bend the trajectory of civilization, sometimes to the breaking point. From Troy to Hiroshima, moments when war has ended and utter annihilation have reverberated through centuries, signaling the end of political systems, cultures, and epochs. Though much has changed over the millennia, human nature remains the same. Modern societies are not immune from the horror of a war of extinction. In The End of Everything, military historian Victor Davis Hanson narrates a series of sieges and sackings that span the age of antiquity to the conquest of the New World, to show how societies descend into barbarism. In the stories of Thebes, Carthage, Constantinople, and Tenochtitlan, I think that's how you say that, Tenochtitlan, he depicts wars, drama, violence, and folly. Highlighting the naivete that plagued the vanquished and the wrath that justified mass slaughter, Hanson delivers a sobering call to contemporary readers to heed the lessons of obliteration lest we blunder into catastrophe once again. So, I don't think genocide is the right word for that. That's my sincerest bad. But it's about, like, war and the terror of it. This is one that I just got today. This is called Children of Ash and Elm. This is a history of the Vikings. It is a thick boy. That is a hefty book. And there's some cool pictures in the middle, which is always a good time. We've got that, and that is by Neil Price. Then another one that I just picked up today, this is called The Naked Olympics by Tony Perotit? I don't know. Oh, basically just a history of the ancient Greek Olympics. Oh my god, excuse me. How they got started and kind of like what they were like back then versus now, which is always a fun time. I keep saying that, I should stop saying that. This is Hugh Bowden's Mystery Cults in the Ancient World. I use this a lot for school, as you can see. I use this for one of my final projects. So it just goes through like ancient Greek religion, pretty much. Well, I don't think it's not just Greece, but like the emphasis is on Greece. So, got that. Another really fun one is Pathogenesis by Jonathan Kennedy. History of the World in 8 Plagues. Full disclosure, I read the first half of this book and then stopped as soon as like the bubonic plague was done, because I don't really care about modern history that much. Not to say that I don't care about it. It's not my area of interest. So that's Pathogenesis. This is a really good read. I would definitely recommend that. Okay. I'll do the rest of like my history adjacent stuff because I think that that makes the most sense. So I have Emily Wilson's Odyssey translation, which when I was at Barnes & Noble today, I saw that she had an Iliad, so I might be going to pick up the Iliad. But this is my favorite translation of the Odyssey that I've read so far. I find the Odyssey to be almost unreadable most of the time. This translation is really great, and again, it's Emily Wilson. Yeah, this one's not technically history, but I have just like a Penguin Classics Epic of Gilgamesh. This is one of my favorite pieces of ancient literature of all time. I love the Epic of Gilgamesh. Also, these guys are pretty cool. So I've got that. Alright, I've got the super cool Oedipus cycle by Sophocles. You know, just Oedipus just doing his thing. I won't explain what that's about on YouTube. And then, okay, I have 2 Iliad translations, and I want to look at when this one came out. When was this published? I have a very bad feeling that this cover might be AI generated. It was the one that my professor told me to get, but it looks AI as fuck, and I just don't appreciate that. And also, this translation is butt. Like, it doesn't even say who translated it, but I despise this translation, so if you see that, don't get it. This translation is really good. This is Stanley Lombardo. This is an excellent, simplified version of the Iliad, but the cover is weird as shit. It's like I want to say this is D-Day, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. Is that D-Day? Is D-Day like the Battle of Normandy on the beach? Like everyone was killed and it was really awful. Is that what that is? Someone who knows about World War II should tell me about that, because I have no clue. But that's what it immediately reminded me of. So the Stanley Lombardo translation is good in my opinion. I'm still gonna get the Emily Wilson one because I like to have matching sets. Okay, I've talked about this all the damn time. Knight's Own Book of Chivalry, Geoffrey de Charny, Elspeth Kennedy, Richard W. Cowper. So, you know, just chivalry book. Also pretty sick cover. Big fan of whatever's going on there. This is a bullshit ass read. This is Galen on Diseases and Symptoms, and if you guys are not familiar with Galen, he was basically an ancient Roman doctor. I'm saying doctor in quotation marks. He was considered a doctor at the time, but looking back, he was just doing some bullshit. He's the guy who came up with the humoral theory, which I talked about in my video about the plague. So this is just a whole bunch of yap, just all of his medical theories. I use this for a project. Haven't picked it up. Yeah. This is A Short History of the Middle Ages by Barbara Rosenwein. This is volume 1, 300 to 1150. And I actually really recommend these books for anyone who wants like a good overview of medieval history. They have volumes 1 and 2 combined into one that you can get some places, and then they also have Reading the Middle Ages, which is essentially like a book full of primary sources, and it's all by Barbara Rosenwein. So this one just has like all kinds of stuff. This was one of my textbooks. So yeah, but it's that. Alright, Crisis of Catiline. This is a role-playing, it's basically like a Senate meeting LARP situation. And I'm saying LARP as in live action roleplay, not the thing that LARP means now, which doesn't make any sense. But anyways, so this is basically a game that we played in my Roman history class where everyone gets a role and then you have to act out like the Senate meeting, if that makes sense. So everyone has like a little thing and it just like goes over all the game rules. If anyone of you likes like D&D, this is a really fun game to play. So that's Crisis of Cataline. Paradise Lost by John Milton. This is a weird fucking book. I don't know why it's in like a children's book form. Like, it's Paradise Lost, but it's weirdly formatted, so there's that. Okay, we're gonna get started with like the fiction stuff now. So, first of all, I've got What Moves the Dead and What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher. These are nice, just like kind of light reads that I can read in like a day or two. And there's a third one that came out. This is the newest one. There's another one that came out pretty recently, I think. And I think it's called What Walks at Night, or like what does something at night. It's got a horse on the cover. I think these covers are beautiful. This is my favorite of the two. But yeah, T. Kingfisher's written a lot of stuff. So if you like horror, this is a good like beginner author to start with. This is a retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's Fall of the House of Usher, which I think is pretty cool. And this one takes place in the US in like a old like gold mining situation. So that's pretty cool. All right, this next one, this is, and I'm gonna butcher this woman's name, I'm so sorry. Ottessa Moshfegh. Ottessa Moshfegh. This is Lapvona. This book, you either love it or hate it. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed this book. It is a little bit gratuitous, if you will, but I think it is it's a very interesting book because all of the characters suck. So yeah, if you're sensitive to like violence towards children, definitely do not read this book. But it's a fun medieval world building situation, and like it's a very interesting read. Like it kind of hooks you on like your messed up like human instinct to like see other people suffer, and like that's kind of what the point of the book is. So anyway, a lot of people have very mixed opinions on that. I have Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Every, you know, horror enthusiast must have one of these. This cover is really cool. This is just Penguin Classics. I've got another classics. I have Dracula by Bram Stoker. This book is a pain in my ass. I don't enjoy. Okay. When was this first published? In the 1800s, right? Something like that. Bram Stoker, let me see. 1897, okay. 19th century literature makes me want to lay in traffic. I'm joking, obviously. The run-on sentences is, they're just a nightmare to read. This is a really sick cover. I really like this book. And I like the story of Dracula, but just the language and the prose is unbearable. That's the same reason that I really struggle to read Wuthering Heights. Like, if I am going to read something from like the 19th century, it's going to be in audiobook form because I just can't deal with it. This book is so great. This is Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman. This book fucks. Like, for lack of better phrasing, this book is amazing. Look at the black pages. Look at the cover art. Look at the inside cover art. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. This takes place during the plague. So of course, you know, I love it. I have been on the hunt for this damn book forever. I finally got my hands on it like in March of this year, and I read it all in like one go. And it's so good. I literally cannot recommend this book enough. Between Two Fires. Sick. So sick. So much cool religious they use like religious figures as like the monsters, which I think is so sick. Okay. This is another name I'm gonna fry because this is a Czech book and I do not speak any sort of language adjacent to that. I believe it's, I want to say like Zuzana Riova. Sorry, Queen. This is called Playing Wolf. It's like a folk horror book. I've started this one. I haven't finished it. I put it down because I was focused on other stuff. This one I'm super excited for. This is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I'm a big Stephen Graham Jones fan. I have another one of his books, which I'll show you soon. But I freaking love him, and I'm so excited to read this book. I think that the cover is so awesome. This is Sacrificial Animals by Kaylee Peterson. This book fascinated me when I first started reading it, but she doesn't use quotation marks, and that messes with me bad. And I know that Cormac McCarthy also does not use quotation marks, but I had a problem reading this book. But it's a good book, and it's unfortunate, but like the punctuation just kind of turned me off. Okay. I'm gonna start rapid firing a couple more. I have The Crucible by Arthur Miller, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, I don't know. Lord of the Flies by William Golding. I've tried to read this book like 7 times, and I just can't get into it. That's probably a me issue, but I have, this one is new. This is The Pocketbook of Dragons by Joel Levy, and it basically just goes through dragon mythology across the world. I just bought this today. I figured that's just a fun little book. This is the book I'm currently reading. This is The Lamb by Lucy Rose. And this is a very interesting book. It's about cannibals. And I know that I showed you guys this in my last Barnes & Noble haul. I'm about halfway through. I really like this book. I think this is a fun one. I believe it's the author's first book too, which is very cool. Okay, this is If Cats Disappeared from the World. I thought that this was a cute, sweet book. I like little cat on the cover. He's so cute. Not my favorite. Nothing super profound or anything in my, I was expecting this to be a life-changing book, and it wasn't, and that's okay. It might have been life-changing for someone else, and that's all that matters. I thought it was a very good story, and I thought that it was very well written. Max Brooks' De-Evolution. I like this better than World War Z, which is a controversial opinion. I listened to the World War Z audiobook. I have not read the book, but this, in my opinion, is more fun. It's a Bigfoot horror. So, if you enjoyed World War Z, if you enjoy his writing style, then there you go. Okay. If I can get these bastards out. Circe by Madeline Miller. Fantastic read. Please, if you have not read anything by her, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. People like to argue that her books are not myth accurate, and to that I have to say, not everything has to be myth accurate, alright? That's how this works. This is Electra by Jennifer Saint. This is another myth retelling. So this is I believe Electra, yeah, she's Agamemnon's youngest daughter. Or I think his only daughter. No, youngest daughter. Okay, so anyway, Iliad adjacent myth retelling. I have not read that one yet. This is a new one, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This is kind of similar to Beowulf. This is translated by Simon Armitage. And yeah, it's just kind of adjacent to Beowulf. It's kind of like a King Arthur crossover, which I think is fun. So yeah. Okay, I showed you the Odyssey already. This is another myth retelling. This is Psyche and Eros by Luna McNamara. Excited for that. I haven't read that one yet. One of my favorite books of all time, and I don't care that this is a basic bitch ass answer. This book is so good. Okay, you guys can complain. Also by Madeline Miller. It's A Song of Achilles. You can also complain as much as you want that this is not a myth-accurate or lore-accurate representation of Achilles or Patroclus or both. And to that I say, I don't give a fuck, okay? This is a great book. It's one of the most touching pieces of literature I've ever read in my life. Okay, now we're gonna go even faster. King Arthur compilation by Howard Pyle. Cool book. Just all of the King Arthur stuff. Phantasmagoria, Compendium of Monsters, Myths and Legends by Terry Breverton. Cool kind of field guide to monsters. I really like the cover art on this. Got all kinds of critters on there. Classical Mythology, which, by Helen A. Gerber? Beautiful cover and art as well. And this is basically just like Greek mythology. And it has a bunch of like artwork of like portraying Greek myths throughout history, which I think is super awesome. And it just kind of goes over everything with lots of pictures and cool stuff like that. Okay. Got Celtic tales, fairy tales, and stories of enchantment from Ireland, Scotland, Brittany, and Wales. And it's just like pretty much what it says. And this is by, it's illustrated by Kate Forrester. I don't know who it's written by. But yeah. And then we've got Stephen Fry. You can never escape him. So this is Mythos. This is like his Greek mythology comp. And then this is Troy, which is like his Trojan War / Iliad / history / mythology book. So Troy is a really cool author if you're just getting into stuff. Okay, these are the big ones. These are like some of my favorites. Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. This book feels like you took a bunch of NyQuil and then went outside and spun around 8 times. That's exactly how this book feels. This is religion, this is medieval, this is psychedelic religious stuff and demons and cool stuff like that. This is probably my favorite book of all time. This is The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. This is an indigenous vampire story. This book also fucks, okay? If you're gonna read nothing else from him, read this book. It is actually life-changing. Like, I really cannot glaze this book enough. Okay, we've got Slewfoot by Brom. I love Brom. I love his illustrations. I think he does incredible work. It's so sick that he illustrates his own books. I really always love that. Like, hello? That's so sick. So this is like a Salem witch trials type of book, where there's a witch and she starts talking to a demon. But spoiler alert, the demon is actually nice and he's very benevolent and he's a nice guy. So that is Slewfoot by Brom. I read this in one day. Super great. Okay, my last two, both by Catriona Ward. This is Sundial. This is another excellent book. This is one of the only books, horror books, that's actually bothered me. If you're not into like animal abuse or experimentation, then this book is not for you. Don't even start it. This book is gnarly. Like, it's not like super bloody or like crazy with the imagery, but it is so awful. It's just awful. So good. Like, I'm like getting like chills talking about it. It's such an amazing story. And the way that it handles flashbacks and moving into reality is incredibly done. So I'm a big fan of Catriona Ward. So much so that I went out and bought another book of hers called Nowhere Burning. She seems to enjoy ranch settings, which I think is really fun. And this cover is gnarly. So I'm so excited for this. They have a Sundial book where the cover's black and like it's still pink. So I would love, like the hardcover of this book, it's black and then the pink stands out. I would love to have that. I've noticed a lot of books lately are doing like the neon pink type of thing, like that does this. A lot of books I've noticed have leaned into like dark colors with like neon splashed on them. This one too, like with the bright lettering, which I kind of get because it's, you know, black, so like it's not like you can put a dark color, but I'm very excited for this. So yeah, I would say these, Buffalo Hunter Hunter, Between Two Fires, and Sundial are like my big three that I would recommend. This is a very like lonesome, like empty, unsettling kind of horror. There's nothing supernatural in this book, it's all real life. This is religious, it is grimy, it's medieval, it's like, it's very, this one's quite bloody, and it's very like, it's just dark, but like in such a great way. This is just a masterpiece. This made me cry, okay? This made me feel such strong emotions for the main character that like, I don't even, like, the main character of this book was an actual, like, he's a real person to me. Like, that's my close and personal friend, actually. And it is such a great commentary on colonialism and westward expansion and the suffering of indigenous communities in that time period and in every time period. It's so beautifully written, and it is truly, like, when I say that, like, I'm not the same after reading this book, I'm really not. Like, this touched my soul, and I really cannot recommend this enough. And I'm so excited to read The Only Good Indians because fucking grand slam here, so you can really, like, I trust him with my life is what I'm saying. Like, I truly believe that he's an excellent author from what I've seen so far. Yeah, so as I said, right now I'm reading The Lamb, and this is like a pretty easy read, so I'm probably going to be done with this within like the next week or so. And then after that, I think I have so much stuff I want to read. I think I'm going to read The Naked Olympics next, because that's super interesting to me and I am just like excited to learn. So yeah, but this book is really, oh, this is by Lucy Rose, by the way. I'm doing terribly at like, I feel like saying the names of the authors, so if there's any that I didn't say, that's my sincerest apology, like my bad. But yeah, so that's like my books, that's what I have read, that's what I haven't read, that's what I'm excited to read, that's what I would really recommend, and not so much recommend. If you guys want like details on any of the books in particular, leave me a comment, I'll respond to the best of my ability. And I have a story graph, which is like a letterbox for books, basically. It's a reviewing platform. And I have that linked in my like channel info, so if you guys give a shit about what I have to say about books, you can go look at that. I haven't done many, I think I've only done like 3 so far because I get way too into it and then it takes forever. And like my takes are by no means like profound or like unique. Like you can go anywhere on the internet and see that my opinion is being echoed 100 million times. But you know, it's my opinion and I stand by it. So if you guys would like to check that out, go ahead. And yeah, that's pretty much all. So I hope that this video wasn't too annoying, because I haven't really done like non-ASMR videos on this channel. So let me know if y'all want to, if you want me to do more. And yeah, but for now, hope you guys enjoyed. Pick up a book and read something at night. That's your homework. Read like 1 chapter of anything you have going around on your house. Cookbook, magazine, whatever. Read some of it. Reading's important. It's how we stay smart and how we develop critical thinking skills and not become part of the literacy crisis. So anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you later.